Hi guys, sorry I'm a little bit under the weather, but I saw some ideas on YouTube and this is kind of what I've been looking at. So I ordered a Skidsteer bucket. Basically I found some secondhand. This guy was selling his, he said it was brand new, it looks brand new. And he was originally selling it for $1,200, but I threw a wild lowball offer. I almost got a used one for the same price of $700, and we agreed on $800. And I ended up buying this for $800. Had to drive to about an hour and a half, but it's all good. Now my idea is, so my problem is actually, sometimes I have jobs where a skid steer is too big and it's not really worth bringing a skid steer, but that bucket's too small. Sorry, ignore all the mess on the side of the house, but that bucket is too small and I need something that can carry more. So I saw some YouTube videos and saw some people weld attachments to the blade, and they just use that bucket to fill this, hook it onto the blade. They can carry, I mean, just looking at it, probably 2-3 times the amount of gravel, rock, or whatever, dirt. So I decided to give it a shot, see how it looks. Excavator's super dirty. I just came from a job. But yeah, so project just started. I'm gonna take little clips of how I go about doing everything. First things first, I need to cut the bottom piece off. So I'm gonna cut all that off, and this I'm gonna cut from here. I'm gonna cut probably like straight up like that, so it avoids the blade. But I don't want to cut this off because it's gonna weaken this whole back area. Yeah, so I'm looking to do the easiest and fastest and best way to attach these two. So I'll show you what's next. Okay, so we're done with removing this piece. I used an angle grinder. Essentially what I did was I cut straight down, or at least close enough straight down, and I cut across. The reason why I couldn't get closer was because there's a support bar right here, and I couldn't cut into the bar. I didn't want to weaken it too much either. And what I did is I just kind of grinded it down a little bit, make it, you know, not sharp. Same thing here, cut it straight up basically. And this piece is ready to go. Now when I come up with the blade on the bucket, it will be much closer to the bucket itself. We'll see how that looks. All right, so this is what I did. As you can tell, now there's less space between here now, but I get about 2 inches. So now my plan is, instead of using like C-channels where it goes like this and hooks on all the way across, my plan is to use this area, which is already pretty tough, and maybe put some more welds over here along the sides, on both sides, but weld on a piece that goes like this, comes out like this, like a rib, basically a thick piece, probably 1/2 inch thick, comes out like this, and thick piece hooks on here on both sides. So that's my goal. And then with being able to pick up with the bucket, so I don't have to reach inside here, that's gonna be a different part done later. So I had 2 ideas with this project. So my first idea was to have, when I weld on this piece, to have like 2 different sizes. So basically when I lay the blade down, and the bucket down, it'll be perfectly flat. So then I can like jam it into like material and lift the blade up and pick up the material and, you know, quickly and go, or maybe like push some in. But what I realized is that the way I do it, see the way it is here, when this gets jammed into the ground, this will kind of lift, and it'll probably lift off the little hooks that I'm gonna weld over here. And what I realize is that it's gonna just cause me issues. So, and building 2 brackets is gonna just be extra work and extra metal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a good medium. And what I realize is this is like a really good angle, I would say. I can carry a lot of stuff, you know, with the blade all the way up. I can carry a lot of material. It won't be falling out the edge. And what I did was I measured the distance here. Basically it's about 2 inches, and so I decided just to keep it 1, because it'd be too much to mess around with like one size, basically 1 angle for just flat and 1 angle for just tilted all the way up. Yeah, but it turns out it's too it's too much, like it's not gonna work out well, and I'm not gonna be able to use it for that purpose. I'm just gonna use it for, you know, using this bucket to fill it up with material or whatever is necessary. So yeah, this is very strong and reinforced. So what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking I'm gonna get a piece of cardboard, and I'm going to kind of draw on it and then cut the cardboard into the piece I need. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld a piece that goes basically most of the way down, comes up to here, and it's gonna stick out over here a little bit too, and it's gonna stick out over here because I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna weld all this. I'm gonna use this piece for another angle to grab with the bucket. Anyways, that's later. But yeah, it's gonna come out, and that piece is gonna stick out like this, over, in, and then like that, straight ahead. And then if it's a good solid chunk, 1/2 inch steel, 2 pieces, this should be strong enough to hold, you know, 2,000 pounds, which is what about this is going to weigh if it's fully loaded, 2,000 pounds ish. So it should be more than enough from what I kind of think. Yeah, so we'll show you that, how I did that on the next part. Okay, it's starting to snow, but I'll make it quick. So basically cut out cardboard. Essentially this is what's gonna be the piece. It's gonna hold on to there. Maybe I'll cut a little bit more, a little more in, so there's more of a tooth over there, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah. All right, folks, so we're gonna start cutting the steel plate. Here's our shape, but we're going to add 5 inches taller, and I'll show you why later. And we're gonna make a little lip over here. Okay. Cutting with what we have. All right, here's the finished product. Gonna start welding it, or sorry, grinding it. Already started grinding it down. Gonna start grinding the face, make it nice and smooth. Yeah, 1 more to go. All right, here we have the 2 finished pieces. I already had them all measured up and sized up. It's gonna go about right there-ish. This piece is gonna be sticking out for later. Now I'm gonna grind the paint off all that, and I'm gonna weld it all together on both sides. It's gonna be nice and strong for both ends. All right, now I got it grinded up, ready for welding. Might need to grind it a little more, but it's okay. All right, so here we have the welded part. Now I had it all measured up and down. I adjusted it a little bit. I had to cut it off a little bit and bring it up another 1/2 inch, but it turned out well. So we got it welded on both sides. This is nice and sturdy, ain't going nowhere. Plenty of welds, strong. Now the second part is just creating kind of designs out of cardboard. Basically I want to, where the hook is gonna be, where I can grab on with the thumb. So I want to cut a piece like this, weld this on, and then weld the pipes on right here, the tubes, box tubes, and same thing on that side. And what that'll do is it'll put the center of mass somewhere in the middle, and I'll have to adjust it, you know, depending on, once I fill this up with weight, etc. And then I'll probably put two tubes where I can grab on both of them, you know, and then with the bucket dump or pick up how I need to. Okay, so I'll show you that part in a bit. Okay, so I'm done with the next part of the project, which is welding on and cutting out these two pieces. Now it looks kind of funky, I guess. Doesn't look super strong, but I mean, 1/2 inch steel this thick, I mean, that's got to be pretty strong. And I guess the full weight of the bucket is going to be supported by these two. What I'm gonna have is a bar coming on. But yeah, anyways, I cut this out using a handy dandy angle grinder, and I just welded on here around on this side, and also here around on this side on both sides. Now, next part of the project will be putting on the box tubing, measuring it out, kind of. I'm gonna have to play around multiple times where the box tubing is gonna exactly be, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find the center of weight. So I mean, kind of the center of weight, but not too much. So then when I lift up the bucket doesn't just open up and dump everything. That's the idea. So that's why if I'm looking straight down, I mean, where my toes are, it's probably gonna be where the center of the center of weight is gonna be when it's full. So I'm gonna have it somewhere here-ish. And I'm thinking about putting 2 bars because I want to be able to grab with the thumb on my bucket on both bars. And what I will do is allow me to twist and dump this bucket out, whatever material's in there. So yeah, that is done with that part, and we'll see how the next part goes. Okay, so here's the update. Now we have the bar measured and welded on. Now what I noticed is that because the boom is off center on the excavator, when you go to grab it, so you turn to get in the middle, you have to turn the arm and the bucket a little bit this way to grab this. And because of that, the bucket's not perfectly straight like this, it's more angled like this a little bit. And so what we did is we moved about 1 inch, maybe a little bit more, this way on this side. And what that allows us to do is grab it angled, but the bucket, this skid steer bucket itself is straight. And we also had to raise this one a little bit and lower this one because the way it's sitting on that. But overall, it's even on both sides. Like we measured from top to bottom, and it's about the same, then 1/8 of an inch equal. So hold on to the bucket correctly. And yeah, now we're gonna be putting on our second piece. I plan on doing about the same distance, but putting it right here where I can grab them both, grab onto both of them, and can manhandle this bucket around with the bucket of the excavator. All right, stay tuned to the next step. Okay, here's the finished product, all painted. Not the best paint, but honestly, it's gonna get scratched up anyway. It's just for the cracks and maybe for like little things to waterproof it. It'll hold off some of the rust for some time, so better than nothing. But yeah, next part we'll show you in action.